This is John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and you caught me. I'm right in the middle of juicing a papaya. I like to juice my papayas when I get one that's just hard. They never really ripen up, and they just don't really taste too sweet. That's why I will juice a papaya. But in this episode, I'm going to show you guys a very important rule that everybody juicing should follow, but yet most people break this rule. Some of you guys have heard about this rule, and some of you guys have not heard about this rule. So I wanted to make a video to share this rule with you because I believe it is very important. But more than just me, we're going to go ahead and include some of the published science or published studies on this and why it is so critical if you are juicing for your health. If you're not juicing for your health, turn this video off now. You don't even need to hear this. But if you're juicing for health like me, then you definitely will want to heed this rule and try to do it whenever possible. That being said, I know rules are made to be broken. How many of you guys, when you go out driving on the freeway that's 55 speed limit, you go 56, 57? I mean, I think everybody breaks the speed limit on driving. Likewise, everybody breaks the speed limit when they're juicing, in my opinion, too. But there are ways around this. So, in addition, I'm going to show you guys some ways around the rule if you do end up breaking it. So you guys can see I got my papaya loaded up in the 3-liter oversized hopper, which I love. And you guys can see I got my papaya juice coming out, pure papaya juice. And we got some of the pulp coming out over on this side. First thing I want to say is that juice does contain fiber. Link down below to my video where I go over the whole fiber conundrum, where I share more, as well as my downloadable PDF fiber chart with the amount of soluble and insoluble fiber that are in fruits and vegetables that will end up in your juices. There are definitely better or worse things you can juice to retain more of the soluble fiber or get rid of it. We're going to go ahead and stop the juicer here real quick, and I'm going to show you guys the rule. So the rule that everybody breaks when juicing is the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule states that 80% of your juices should be vegetables or non-sweet fruits. That would include fruits like cucumber. And then 20% of your juice should be the fruits. Meanwhile, I go on YouTube and I see the Namawell J2, which I love. There's so many people that, support it. Show it, demonstrate it, and use it in their videos, and they are so passionate about juicing, but yet they're juicing mostly fruit juices, right? Watermelon, pineapple, orange, apple, with like very little to no vegetables. Furthermore, I mean, even other hardcore influencers that have been juicing for a long time that should know the 80-20 rule, but they break the rule too. And they'll do like, a big bowl of kale, but then they'll add at least as much or more fruit. So now we're nowhere near 80-20. Maybe we're 50-50, which is definitely better. But to me, I want you guys to juice vegetables with your juicer, right? And here's the thing. We are using the Namawell juicer today. This is the juicer that makes juicing easier, especially when juicing fruits because of the hopper. And so that's why I love the Namawell J2, especially with a 3-liter hopper. You could load this up with any produce, leafy greens, celery, stem vegetables, root vegetables, or even fruits. Load it up, turn it on, and the juicer will make a lot of juice for you without you having to do any work. If you guys haven't already bought the Namawell J2 and you want to support me, you guys could buy it at Namawell.com. Use the coupon code 8020 because I want you guys to follow the 80-20 rule. When you guys use that coupon code, not only will you save 10% off, which is $55 in the US, that coupon also works all across the world to save you guys 10% off in your currency as well. Namawell does have free shipping to the US 48 states as well as the European Union when you're ordering a European model of the J2. Now, when you guys use that coupon code, Namawell will also share with me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational and informative videos for you guys that nobody else is going to bring you, because I want to bring you guys the truth. I got into juicing for my health, to turn my health around. And when I see people juicing so much fruit, it makes me sad because I know what's going to happen to them in the long run, because I've been through this myself. I've been juicing for nearly 30 years at this point. I've gone stints where I've juiced mostly vegetables. I've gone stints where I've juiced mostly fruit. and I've seen what happened to me. I track my blood tests to see how I'm doing, and I'll tell you guys, I'll be honest, you know, my insulin resistance has maybe gone up a little bit, and it's not as good as it used to be, and I believe that's because of the overconsumption of fruits and too much fruit juice I'm drinking. So I'm here to save you guys from having health challenges in the future by showing you guys my experience, but not just my experience, guys. I'm going to show you guys the science. So the first thing I want to say that Nama themselves, yes, the company who sells the best-selling juicer in the United States, advocates for the 80-20 rule. We'll throw it up on the screen literally from their website. This is the guide to juicing following the 80-20 rule. So it says, at Nama, we are big believers that your juices should primarily contain vegetables with only small amounts of fruit. This is because juices that are primarily made of sweet fruits will produce a juice that is very sweet, think pure orange juice. Juices that are made up of mostly fruit can lead to blood sugar spikes and weight gain. It's simply too much concentrated sugars for our bodies to process. That's why we support the 80-20 rule. And it says, ideally, when you are juicing, you will select and mix ingredients that are proportionate in the ratio of 80% vegetables or low sugar fruit and 20% fruit, right? So yes, even Nama promotes this rule, but yet their machine, my personal opinion, is used more than any other machine because number one, they've sold more, and number two, it makes it easy to juice fruits. In previous juicers, you could not juice fruits this easy, and the Nama J2 makes it easy. And so, you know, to me, that's like they're telling you one thing, but then people are doing another. And you know, while I do believe that 100% homemade fruit juice is better than soda or even store-bought fruit juices, right? I want you guys to do better, and I want you guys to know the truth. So we're going to go ahead and pull up some studies here. So the first study we're going to pop up right on the screen is sugar-sweetened beverages, natural fruit juices, and cancer. What we know and what still needs to be assessed. We're just going to go ahead and read part of this study out for you guys. Basically, they've determined that although previous evidence has shown the consumption of fruits has been beneficial effects on health, there is still no agreement on its juices obtained from them. Compared to whole fruit, fruit juices contain lower amounts of fiber and vitamin C. Furthermore, fruit juices are rich in natural sugars and therefore, like sugar-sweetened beverages, may have negative effects on human health. Hypoglycemia after consumption of juice is associated with increased levels of insulin and IGF-1 synthesis, which might enhance tumor development. Also, it has been shown that elevated levels of IGF-1 have been associated with poor prognosis in cancer patients. Also, fruit juices contain large amounts of fructose, which can produce advanced glycation end products. These products contribute to the development and progression of cancer tumors. A meta-analysis of 16 prospective cohort studies on 100% fruit juice reported that each 250 milliliter a day increase, that's about 8 ounces, increase in fruit juices intake was associated with a 31% increase in overall risk of cancer. In fruit juice intake was associated with 31% increased risk of overall cancer. So what are they saying? They're saying basically if you drink 250 milliliters of fruit juice a day, which is like 8 ounces, and I see people juice, batch juice their fruit juice and just pound them, right? This is going to be 32 ounces. I'm probably going to make even more than that. Finally, in the study, it says, despite the presence of natural antioxidants in fruit juices, because yes, that's why fruit juices are good, because they have antioxidants, phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals, right? But it says here in the study, despite the presence of natural antioxidants in fruit juices, these antioxidants are consumed along with high amounts of natural sugar or fructose. Therefore, it seems that the adverse effects of the sugar available in fruit juices cover the beneficial effects of the antioxidants. So what they're trying to say there is, just because it's high in antioxidants, when you are removing the sugar from the food matrix and it no longer has the fiber to slow down the absorption, you lose the benefits of the antioxidants. They're kind of like nullified, right? And we're going to go down to the conclusion. In total, we conclude that most beverages containing natural or added sugar might increase the risk of cancer, particularly sex hormone related cancers. This positive association might be attributed to IGF-1, which is increased in response to SSB consumption and induces an increase in sex hormones. In addition, IGF-1, SSBs, and natural fruit juice may increase the risk of cancer through obesity-inducing effects, and also their increasing effects on inflammatory biomarkers. Basically, what I believe they're saying here is that if you have sugar-sweetened beverages or natural juices that do contain sugar, right, outside the food matrix, right, and you're a woman, because a lot of women I see juice high fruit juices, right, and you have breast cancer in your family. Breast cancer, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, check with your doctor, is a sex hormone disease. Also diseases like prostate cancer, you know, for men, right? These are sex hormone diseases, and based on this study, you are increasing your risk, right? So I know it's tempting, and fruit juice tastes really good, but if your long-term health is important to you, because yes, you drink a fruit juice, you feel great, you feel gung-ho, right? And you could do it for sure, but you're gonna, in my opinion, hurt your long-term health, as I have seen from me personally, as well as from others going through this journey of life. All right, next study that I want to throw up right here is fruit consumption and risk of type 2 diabetes, results from 3 prospective longitudinal cohort studies. And what I want to say as a side note is that I know the owner of Nama personally, and he does have diabetes, and he noticed that when he drinks a fruit juice as compared to eating an apple, his blood sugar will spike, right? And this is why it's like the boy who cried wolf every time that you eat, right? It's causing your blood sugar to spike, and this is not a good thing. Anyways, we're going to go down to certain parts of this study. We're just going to go down to the conclusion, and it says, greater consumption of specific whole fruits, particularly blueberries, grapes, and apples, was significantly associated with lower risk of type 2 diabetes. So they're saying, if you eat whole fruits, you're going to have a lower risk of diabetes, right? But we could go on. Whereas greater fruit juice consumption was associated with a higher risk. So what are they saying? They're saying fruit is good, will lower your diabetes risk, but fruit juice will not. It'll increase it, actually, according to the study, right? So going on, overall, these results support recommendation on increasing consumption of a variety of whole fruits. Guys, eat your watermelon, eat your oranges, eat your apples, eat your pineapples. Don't juice them, especially blueberries, grapes, and apples as a measure for diabetes prevention. Note, they did not say increase your fruit juice consumption, because fruit juice does not have the same effects in your body as the whole fruit, because you're removing it out of the food matrix. And then when we drink a juice, yes, I will say when we drink a juice, because you removed a lot of the insoluble fiber, we get a greater uptick in our blood sugar because of it. This can have deleterious effects over the long run to your health. We're going to go ahead and pop up this table from the published study, which basically compared glycemic load and ranked fruits in high, medium, or low, and glycemic index, high, medium, or low, against fruit juice for diabetes risk, okay? And this is the hazard ratio. And if you guys don't know what hazard ratio is, basically the higher the hazard ratio, that means the more that you are in trouble, and the more that you have a risk of this from occurring. The lower the hazard ratio actually means that you're going to actually improve that situation. So a 1.0 is baseline or even, like it's not going to get better or not going to get worse. Above 1 is worse, below 1 is better. So if we look at the ones that are the best was actually 5 to 6 servings a week for the low glycemic index food, which was 0.85. Meaning, you know, if you eat 5 to 6 servings of whole fruit that are low glycemic index, what are those fruits? Things like berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, pomegranates, low glycemic index. You know, you will improve, you know, your resistance to risk of diabetes. Meanwhile, if we compare that to the fruit juice, right, at 1 serving a week, right, just 1 serving, that's like, I think, a cup or something, not a lot, your hazard ratio goes up. So it's worse than doing nothing. So drinking fruit juice is worse than doing nothing, according to this long-term study, and that's just one serving a week, right? How many people make fruit juice and drink like, multiple servings in a day, or especially in a week? So let's check out more data. So if you have 2 to 4 servings a week, from 1.03, now your hazard ratio goes up to 1.05, a little bit of an increase. But then you have 5 or 6 servings a week, and then you go up to 1.08, which is even worse. And then you go up to more than 1 serving a day. And I think most people that own a Nama J2, they're juicing fruit, and they're drinking more fruit juice. They're drinking more than 1 serving a day. Absolutely. Your hazard ratio goes up the most to 1.21, which is the highest number in this entire chart, right? I'm just telling you guys the science, sharing my opinions with you, and I know it's hard to resist when you got a sweet, tasty fruit juice, but I've made plenty of videos share with you guys how to reduce your fruit juice consumption, and I'll share some more after this episode. I think the last thing I want to pop up, we're going to go ahead and pop up this graph from the study. This graph shows that pooled multivariate adjusted hazard ratios and 95% confidence intervals error bars of type 2 diabetes for substituting 3 servings a week of total or specific fruit for the same amount of fruit juice. So what they're saying here is that if instead of juicing your fruit, if you were to eat that fruit, what is going to happen to you? And if the bar goes down, that means you're reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes. So you guys can see, by eating the blueberries instead of juicing them, your risk goes down the most, right? If you eat grapes instead of juice them, then you have the second most benefit. And of course, the prunes, which are basically like plums, you have another really big benefit as well. And you can see basically on cantaloupe, you didn't get as significant benefit by eating it versus juicing it. So if you do want to juice something, you might want to juice cantaloupe. That being said, I still discourage you guys from juicing the fruits. So that's the published study that says that you can increase your risk of type 2 diabetes, right? Type 2 diabetes is a killer for many people, and if you go to the medical system, they're just going to prescribe you drugs for the rest of your life, right? I have friends that basically educate people about going on a whole food plant-based diet. Of course, they don't recommend juicing fruits on their diet to reverse people from type 2 diabetes in many situations. So to sum up what we learned, number 1, we learned if you juice more fruits, there's a higher cancer risk. Number 2, we learned that there's a higher diabetes risk. Number 3, we also learned that just because there's nutrients in the fruit juice, it doesn't override, removing the food matrix and giving you guys the sugar without the fiber that you are not eating. Hey, if you want to juice and then take all the fiber you get from your juice and then dump it back in your juice and then drink it at the same time, I think that's great. Most people definitely don't do that. That's why I encourage you guys, as somebody that has been living a healthy lifestyle now for almost 30 years, to eat your fruits. Fruits are so delicious, right? Go out to your local farmer's market, grow your own fruit at home. There's no really need to juice it when you have high quality fruit, right? When I usually juice fruits when it's low quality fruit, because if I eat it, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. Then I'm going to run it through the juicer, and then I'll show you guys what I'm going to do with this to counteract the effects of the studies. The other thing I will say, if you guys want to process your fruits, then at least put them into a vacuum blender. You are still disturbing the food matrix, which has other implications, but at least you're going to get all the fiber, although the food matrix is just chopped to hell. But you're going to get a juice-like consistency that you can drink that makes it more convenient, because I know some of you guys live a fast-paced life and you can't always sit down and eat a fruit. I would encourage you guys to make the time to eat fruit. That being said, if you vacuum blend even a watermelon, the consistency is so close to the same exact thing you're going to get out of a juicer. And of course, a vacuum blender is significantly easier to clean. That being said, I know you guys, as well as me, will break the rules. Some rules will be made to be broken. If you break the speeding rules while you're on the freeway, the police may give you a ticket. I'm not here to be the fruit juice police and monitor you every time you're juicing fruit. I'm just showing you guys what I do because I want you guys to be healthy. That being said, I want to give you guys my tips. If you do end up breaking the rules, I'm going to show you guys my 6 tips so that it's not going to have as much of a negative impact. All right. So the first tip I'm going to share with you guys is that I want you to limit your fruit juice consumption to 8 ounces in one sitting. Right. I know it's tempting, and you see YouTube influencers drinking 32 ounces of fruit juice, and yes, I will say that drinking that much fruit juice is definitely better than drinking that much soda. That being said, I am concerned for your long-term health outcome as I am with my own. So for best results, limit to 8 ounces a day. As you guys saw in the study, limiting your fruit juice consumption will reduce your hazard ratio. Tip number 2 is I want you guys to reduce the amount of days you drink fruit juice. So only drink 8 ounces at a time. And when you drink fruit juice, instead of every day, try to reduce it to every other day, right? Try to wean yourself off juicing the fruits or drinking the fruit juices, because it is addictive, right? Just like sugar-sweetened beverages, it basically concentrates the sugar. It lights up our dopamine centers. It fires our brain off saying, oh, this is so good. And yes, it's absolutely healthier than things that are worse, but there's even things healthier than juice, like the whole fruit. So reduce the amount of days you drink it. Hopefully, maybe you could get it down to even just 1 day a week, at which point, that's fine. My goal is to not drink any 100% fruit juices myself. My third tip is that when you do break the rules, I want you guys to not juice 100% fruit, but juice 50% fruit with 50% vegetables. And, I don't care if you guys use some mild tasting vegetables that really won't significantly affect the change of your fruit juice. So, for example, the link down below, Never Juice Fruits Without Doing This, where I share what I do to basically make it a 50-50 juice or even 60-40 juice, which still is more vegetables than fruits. I use the jicama, which is an amazing vegetable that basically doesn't really change the flavor of your juice. It still keeps it sweet because it has the soluble fiber, such as the inulin and fructooleosaccharides that taste sweet to our taste buds, but does not affect our blood sugar. Or you could use something like, cucumbers or romaine lettuce that has a very mild flavor when juicing your fruit. So literally, at least you're going from 100% fruit juice to 50% vegetables to 50% fruit. That is a step in the right direction, and I'm saying you're doing a good job. And of course, over time, you could reduce the amount of fruit and just keep increasing the amount of vegetables. Fourth tip I want to give you guys is, if you guys do choose to juice fruits, not all fruits are created equal. For example, pineapples are one of the worst things you can juice. Links down below to my video that says juice contains fiber, but pineapples contains the least soluble fiber when you juice it. Certain fruits, such as things like pomegranates and berries and other deeply, richly pigmented colored fruits. I picked up about 30 pounds of the purple cactus fruits just yesterday. Deeply pigmented fruits are going to have more of these health benefits than fruits that are not deeply pigmented. So if you do choose to juice fruits, I encourage you guys to juice fruits that are more nutritious than others. And especially if juicing oranges, links down below to my video, how I show you can juice oranges in the Nama J2 and get significantly more of the antioxidants, polyphenols, and beneficial effects from the oranges by using my special techniques. The fifth tip I want to give you guys, if you guys do want to make 100% fruit juice like I am doing today, what I'm going to do with this fruit juice is that this fruit juice is basically going to go into my blender, and then this fruit juice is now the liquid, instead of using water or coconut water, to the base of my smoothie. So for example, this papaya juice will get blended up with frozen organic cherries, frozen organic wild blueberries, some frozen mango, as well as vanilla bean with some other prebiotic fibers such as the fructooleosaccharides and baobab powder and all these other fibers. Some human milk oleosaccharides, HMOs. So I'm going to actually add fiber to it before I drink it. So I'm going to have more fiber when I do have this juice. I think that is an excellent use of the juices by using it as the base for your smoothies. My sixth and final tip I want to share with you guys is, when you make 100% fruit juice, I want you guys to add fiber to the fruit juice. I did mention earlier that you could take the pulp and just dump the pulp back in there and then eat it all at once. or drink it all at once. To me, that wouldn't be so fun. Make kind of a soup out of it. I mean, it will have a different texture and flavor than eating it whole because you have separated it out, and at least that's going to be better. That being said, what I would recommend is adding something like ground up flax seeds, which not only have the fiber, but also other polyphenols, lignans, and omega-3 fatty acids that are really good for us. So I calculated that if you juice something like apples, for example, you juice apple juice, and then you took out the fiber, how much flax fiber would you need to put back in to get back to the equivalent of fiber that you removed? And so I figured that for every cup of juice you make, you want to add in 1/3 cup of ground up flax seeds. That is a fair amount, but literally that is the fiber you're missing. And when you add in the flax seeds, now you're going to at least have the juice with a fiber other than the fiber that it was originally packaged in. You still destroy the food matrix, but nonetheless, at least you are eating it or drinking it with some fiber that has been added in. Of course, you could use other things like chia seeds or other, psyllium husk fibers or other things. But, that's another technique that you guys can use to blunt the blood sugar effect that the fruit juice is going to have. And this over time can have detrimental health effects as shown by the science. So the last thing I want to say is that while some people will include carrots because it is a quote unquote high sugar fruit, which I would argue with, I would encourage you guys to juice more carrots, add more carrots to your juice instead of some of these other fruits. Although carrots do have more sugar than other vegetables, they're very rich in carotenoids and other nutrients that can be very health beneficial. So I really want you guys to juice more vegetables. Very important. I want you guys to juice 80% vegetables and get used to drinking vegetable juices, right? I see the juicer as a tool for me to get me to eat more vegetables than I otherwise would. Most people don't like to eat their vegetables, especially things like leafy greens like kale and collard greens and spinaches that just don't really taste good, right? But when you juice them, you can get the benefits of then removing them from the cell matrix, which then makes it easier for us to digest because we can't really absorb the beta carotene effectively if we were just to chew up carrots. But if we juice it, it goes into our bloodstream, right? Because vegetables have a different fiber texture and basically lock the nutrients into the cells, whereas on the fruits, right, our bodies are really well designed to digest the fruits. So there's really no reason to juice it. So, I really want you guys to juice more vegetables, and that's the information I share on my channel. I'll put a link down below if you guys did end up buying the Nama J2 juicer to my bulk juicing 101, where I share with you guys the best vegetables that you can bulk juice affordably to, get you guys better health benefits. And of course, if you guys haven't already bought the Nama J2, that is revolutionizing the juicing industry because it made juicing just easier for everybody and is outselling every other juicer on the market. Make sure you guys use 80/20 coupon, which will save you guys $55 off in the US or 10% off all around the world on my favorite juicer, the Nama J2, and hopefully you will start juicing lots of vegetables with it because most Americans simply don't eat enough vegetables. So aside from saving 10% off with the coupon 80/20, you guys will be helping me out as well. And because Namawell will share with me a small commission, and this is so important so that I can continue to make these educational videos. I could spend literally a whole day looking up published science to share with you guys in episodes like this so that you guys don't have to, because I am in this not to sell you a juicer. I'm in this to get you guys to turn your health around. And to me, the juicer is an amazing tool and probably the best tool so that a person could really ramp up their vegetable and, more importantly, leafy green consumption. And I don't want you guys juicing fruits as the majority of what you juice. If you guys got to add some fruits to your vegetable juices to make it a little bit sweeter, hey, you guys could do that. But I really want you guys to focus on the vegetables. So if you guys enjoyed this episode today, learning about the #1 juicing rule that gets broken pretty much by everybody, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people, other friends and family and loved ones that that are juicing high amounts of fruits so that they could learn some of the science out there and hopefully they can make some modifications to get more vegetables in them, or at least use some of my tips to blunt the negative effects of the high fruit juice consumption. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you miss my new and upcoming episodes. I'll be coming in every 5 to 7 days. You don't know what new information I'll be sharing with you guys, or juicers I'll be comparing or unboxing to enhance your life so that you guys can select the best equipment and have the best knowledge to turn your health around. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check out past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the best juicers on the market. I'll put a couple of links down below to my favorite videos that I've done with the Namawell J2, really explaining its benefits, as well as my video, Never Juice Fruits Without Doing This to Make It Healthier. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.